Okay, so currently I am the Chief Financial Officer at the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce. Who knew, right? But I came here to pursue my acting career. I'm originally from Chicago, and I just thought that I would be acting, singing, and dancing for my entire life. And my parents were always adamant about me getting something more conservative in terms of education. So I ended up getting a degree in finance and international business. And finance was what I fell back on. But I still have an agent. I'm still pursuing acting, not full time, but I still keep my feet wet, and I've been writing a lot. So that's kind of my line of work. What's my best attribute? When I think about, in terms of physically, I would say my smile. In terms of personality, I would say my heart. That's my best attribute. What do I wish people would stop asking me? What movie were you in? Can I find you somewhere on IMDb? That's the question that I despise the most. What am I completely over and done with? I'm completely over and done with COVID. I'm completely over and done with isolation, with inequality, with government. I'm over and done with just anything that has to do with government and oppression of people in any capacity. Violence, all that. I'm done with it, and I've seen it firsthand because we've been in quarantine, so we've had an opportunity to see these things firsthand. So I'm sick and done with it. God, the worst thing about being female, I would say, are hormones, maybe. That the perspective of, in the industry that I'm in, is male dominated. And so it always feels like I'm underestimated as a woman. In terms of physicality, it's very difficult because we're emotional and nurturing women, but we also are professionals, and we're strong, and we're powerful, and we give birth to the world. And so I don't think that's praised enough. I don't think we get enough credit for that we can do it all. Oh God, the best thing about being female is that we give birth to the world. That we are consummate multitaskers, that we are great problem solvers and nurturers and empowered. We're super women. So I love being female. We're smart, smarter than the average bear. Yeah, that's my little da-da-da. Who has had the biggest impact on my life? That is a loaded question. There's been a number of people. One, my grandparents. I grew up in a very large family. So my grandma, my grandfather, my mom. But I'll say recently, my 13-year-old goddaughter, who contracted a rare form of cancer 2 years ago. I'm sorry. And passed away 7 months later, and it came out of the blue. And her strength and her smiles, even when she was in pain, I've never seen strength like that, and it allowed me to grow. So when I think of her, I think of that. Hi, Sky. What is my biggest challenge in life? My biggest challenge in life is my career, I believe. While I'm really good at finance, and I have a great career and I do very well, I'm not fulfilled because I'm an artist at heart. And I fear being broke, so I kind of haven't taken that big leap of faith and just said all or nothing. And so I would say that's it. The biggest lesson life has taught me is that you cannot defend a lie. I have been in situations where there have been untruths said, and I feel like every time I tried to defend myself, it made it worse. So the thing is that God can correct it all, and as long as you know the truth, that's what's most important. You can't defend a lie. Don't try. What the word that best describes me is funny. Again, at least in my mind, I'm funny to myself. I make myself laugh, which is kind of interesting. What word best describes my view of the world at this point in time? Scary. The things that I've seen in the last 15 months have been terrifying. I've watched a man murdered in broad daylight on television for the world to see. I've watched my goddaughter pass away. I've seen homelessness to a level that I never thought in my life I would see. I've seen tragedy that just so overwhelming that is scary. And I wonder, is this the end? Sometimes I wonder that. I fear it. I fear, is this the end? The world is scary. You can't trust people now, or I have a hard time trusting people because of just the way the world is now. You can't even trust the police, and I come from a family of police. My dad was a homicide detective for 36 years. My uncle, 37 years. I have cousins that are in internal affairs, state patrol, and there's still a lack of trust there. These are people who are supposed to protect and serve, and I fear them. Do I see an optimistic future in our country? I hope so. I want to be optimistic. I want to be optimistic, but seeing what has happened to our world, seeing the level of homelessness and the people and people in despair, seeing the assaults against, Asians and African Americans to a level that the world can see. It's hard to be optimistic, but I am a consummate optimist. So, when I hear the word Enfuego, what comes to mind? So I have to be honest. I knew Enfuego meant fire, but I thought Enfuego was in fire. So something told me to look it up, and I'm glad I did because it meant on fire. And then it also meant something like excellent, or something like success, extreme success. And so when I think about that, I think that's incredible. And Enfuego, this is just a mantra to what is yet to come for Enfuego Entertainment. So that's what I think. What do I look for in a mate? That's a good question. I look for honesty, loyalty, fiscal responsibility, a little bit of style, good hygiene, smart, good person to those around him, not necessarily just to me, but just a kind person overall. I like kindness. I like love. And hopefully he's taller than I am. That would be great, because I like heels. So, yeah. If I were to meet myself at a dinner party, what would I say? Oh my gosh, I'd say hi. I like meeting people, so it would be kind of cool to meet someone like me. It's just kind of funny. I don't know, I would probably crack myself up we probably laugh all the time. That's all I do. You have to laugh at everything. So I would say, hey girl, I'm Marlo, what's your name? So that's what I would do probably. Yeah, that's a good question. I like that question. Thank you. My mom and dad. So my dad was a homicide detective for 36 years. He was also a bodyguard, so he was kind of a star in my eyes for a long time, but he's very, very tough on me because I'm number 9 of 10 children, and I'm the baby girl. And my sisters kind of ruined it for me. So he kind of pulled a gun on the first guy I ever dated. So I was kind of traumatized a little bit. He was a tough guy, but I was also daddy's girl, so I got away with a lot. He was tough. You were guilty until proven innocent. I always thought something was wrong with me until I realized he had threatened the guys in the neighborhood so no one would date me. And I didn't find that out until 2009, and that was the year he passed away. So I appreciate it in a way, but I also had a little bit of self-esteem issues because of it. But I felt protected. My dad made you feel protected. He was tough, though. Yeah, he was tough. My mom was my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. She was my best friend, for sure. And I miss her a lot. She passed away suddenly 5 years ago, and I don't think I ever got over it. I also took care of my mother since I was 13. My mom had some health issues, and it was always an honor. Like, all of my success, all of my older siblings, my dad, my grandparents, when you talk about a village raising a kid, a village raised me, and I'm proud of everything that I've accomplished, and it's because of them. And so taking care of my mom was an honor. She was just always, like, everyone loved my mom. Everyone loved her. She was a really wonderful person. She fussed a lot, and we kind of fussed a lot, but it didn't last long. Like, I'd be like, you better apologize, Mom, because she was always saying something weird to people. And then she'd fuss and say, I'm not gonna apologize. And I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not talking to you. And then 10 minutes later, she was like, oh, I think I should apologize. Like, so that was kind of our relationship. So you never think that your parents are going to transition. You never know when. But I would say losing my mom changed my life, for sure. And I've never been the same since.